Hello beautiful people, let's get started with today's video. We're starting off with Oma Beauty's latest Tripping Smooth Face Primer. I try to get some detail shots for you guys, but if you look really closely you can see that it has like this pink iridescence to it, which I thought was really awesome and super pretty. So I just picked up some, I rubbed it between my hands, and I didn't know if you guys could see it on my hand, like that pink shimmer. I was like, wow, this is fascinating. And then I kind of got excited because I was like, oh my god, I've never used anything like this, like let's see how this goes. So I decided to kind of like pat it onto my face, like onto the surface, just making sure I'm evenly distributing it across my entire face. This is what it looked like. And off camera, I applied my Urban Decay eyeshadow primer in Original. And then as a base, I used my Juvia's Place eye primer, and this is in shade 2. For today's palette, we're starting off with Colored Rain Safari Rain palette, and I'm going to be picking up the shade Clay. So I'm just going to be placing this around the perimeter of my eyelid, so in the crease, making sure that I'm winging it out on the outer portion of the lid, just building up that shade. Grabbing my Juvia's Place eye primer again, and I'm going to be using a flat blending brush, if you will, to carve out the crease. I'm using something that's a little bit more fluffy because I want to have a softer crease. I don't want it to be like a stark, harsh line between the eyeshadow that I already have there, so I'm just using that brush to help kind of smooth out and diffuse that line at the edge. And I am going to go in and set it with my KVD setting powder in Translucent. Back in the Safari Rain palette, I'm picking up the shade Tigress, and I'm going to be actually applying this with my finger. I just want to make sure I get the full intensity of this color, so that's why I'm going in with my finger instead of a brush. Dipping back into the shade Clay, I did go in with a smaller brush first to get super close to cleaning up the edges of the perimeter of that, and then I went back in with my blending brush just to diffuse that area out. And I'm making sure that I'm bringing that shade over to the edge of where I put that shimmer shade down so it blends out. In my Amrezy palette from Anastasia Beverly Hills, I'm picking up the shade New Yorker per usual, and I'm going to be using this to clean up the edges of where I had my eyeshadow base, just to make sure I get rid of that cast, that white cast that it had left before. And with a makeup remover wipe, I'm just going to clean up the edge of my eye look and any other areas where I got a little out of hand with that primer. I'm going in with my color correcting stick, so I'm just going to place this on the areas where I have hyperpigmentation. I am going to blend it out after with a damp beauty blender, damp with water. I'm going to go in and set it with my KVD translucent setting powder. For foundation, I'm going in with my LA Girl tinted foundation in the shade Walnut. So I do want to say that this is a light to medium coverage foundation. I love it because it takes less time to blend it out since it's a lighter foundation, and it feels really light on the skin. Like, I love and adore my Juvia's Place foundation, but from switching to this one, it's like, it's just less time to blend it out. It takes less time taking it off, and I'm like, with the color corrector down, it's like it does have like that sheer kind of like it helps your skin look more like skin, and my other Juvia's foundation did that too, but I don't know, there's just something about it where I'm just like, you know what, I really like this foundation, so I've been using that. And for contour, I'm going in with my Oma Beauty Double Take Duo Stick, so I'm just gonna put that in all the areas where I want to contour and accentuate on my face. Here's another new item. So I'm going in with my Oma Beauty Stay Woke Concealer. This is in the shade Brown Sugar T2. So I was a little scared about using a different concealer because I didn't know like if I'd be able to blend it out right. I was a little shy about how much of this product I put on. I didn't want to put on too much because I wanted to make sure that it blended out nicely. Like I still allowed it to sit on the skin for 10 minutes before I blended it out. And just the consistency of it, it's a lot thicker than what I'm used to, but what I like about that is that you definitely get the color payoff in the area where you put it. It's not like the more you blend it, the more it disappears. It just blends out perfectly in the area where you put it. The only thing is for this shade, it was a little bit more yellow than what I'm used to, and I feel like I could definitely go maybe like a little bit lighter on this shade, or use this in combination with another lighter shade just to make sure that I get that light underneath the eye. But like I said, I left it on the skin for 10 minutes. It didn't take that long. Like it didn't it wasn't that difficult to blend it out. It still blended out beautifully, and I was like, you know what, I really like this concealer. Like Oma Beauty did that. Oma Beauty did that, yo. They did that. From LA Girl, I'm going to be using their cream blush. This is in the shade Grace. So first time I've used the cream blush, I was just like, oh my god, like this is different. So what I decided to do was put it on the back of my hand, diffuse it out with my finger, and then I went in with a damp beauty blender again and I placed it on the skin in the area where I wanted it to be. So I focused on the cheeks, and then I also brought it into like the center area of my face and onto the nose because I really wanted that baked in kind of flush blush look to it. So it was a little bit tricky for me at first because this is the first time I'm using it, and after I set everything with my powders, I was like, okay, is this gonna go away completely? Like, how much do I put on? So with the amount that I put on, I feel like it was okay, but I feel like I could have went in with a little bit more. And now you guys are seeing the Oma Beauty setting powder, which I really like the idea that they came up with. So you twist the bottom and then you shake it, and then on the sides you can see how more of the powder came out. The only thing is that I do use a beauty blender to apply my face powder, so I had to put it in the cover and then I put my beauty blender in the cover to put it on the face. Now I have this in the shade Honey, and this was an area where I was like, okay, do I need a lighter powder, a lighter concealer, or both? Because I feel like once I set that area, it kind of started to disappear. It's like there wasn't much different, like there wasn't that much of a difference between my concealer and my foundation. And I like to have kind of like a bright under eye, like the center of my face to be brighter than like the rest of the perimeter. So I was like, girl, I might need a lighter shade in this. But overall, I really love that powder. It blurs out the skin. It looks so smooth. The only thing is like the area where my pores are doing what pores do, being visible, like you still see it, but for everywhere else on the skin, it looks amazing. Like, hello, like it's finely milled. I really love that powder. Then for all the other areas of my face where I didn't highlight, I went in with my MAC Mineralized Skin Finish in the shade Dark Deep. For bronzer, I'm going in with my Colored Rain bronzer in the shade Naughty Spice. So I am being careful with not covering up the area where I had applied my blush because I don't want it to disappear after I put my bronzer down. And also with the face primer that I had put down from Oma Beauty, I will say that I feel like my skin, like the oils didn't come through until like a little bit, like maybe an hour or two later than what it usually does. And I feel like even just applying the product, it felt like skincare. It felt cooling when I put it on. And I really like that primer, so I'm gonna keep using it. Like, it worked just as good as my Milk Makeup product and my Milk Makeup primer, and I'm really happy with it. I just like that, you know, I feel like the combination of the primer and the powder, it just works so beautifully that it's just like, I still get a little bit of creasing in my smile lines, but it's not as intense as usual. So I set my face, and then after that, I did my brows off camera using my dark brown eyebrow pomade from the Crayon Case. Dipping back into the Safari Rain palette, I grabbed the shade Clay, and I'm going to be putting this on my entire bottom lower lash line. And with the shade Toucan, I'm going to be using this to highlight my inner corner. Of course, going back into the Anastasia Beverly Hills Amrezy palette, picking up the shade New Yorker and using this to fuse my lower lash line. Again, I just use this shade because it's close to my complexion and it helps to just blur and smooth out those colors. From LA Girl, I'm picking up my Gold Digger glitter, and I'm going to be applying this to the lid. I love that it's such like a small, like the glitter doesn't look that thick, so it kind of just makes it look like you have shimmer on the lid already. Like it looks like it was already baked into the eyeshadow. I love that about it. And then from LA Girl, I'm using their Jet Setter liquid liner. Like what? Liquid liner, and I'm going to be putting a super thin line. This is just to prep for eyelashes. I'm not going too crazy on the thickness of it, and then I am going to be doing a fox eye, so you're going to see me extend my lower lash line and create like that little triangle situation fox eye look. I am going to be using my Oma Beauty Drama Bomb mascara. So I love this mascara. It makes my bottom lashes look more prominently there. Like it doesn't cake it on, but I don't know, I just like how it makes my bottom lashes look like they're there, you see them, they showed up, they're doing their job. And for lashes, I'm using Just Jess from Super Baddie Kawaii. For highlight, I'm going to be going in with my Anastasia Beverly Hills Amrezy highlight. Love this highlight. Had to revisit it. It's been a while since I've used it. I just love how it looks on the skin. For lip liner, I'm going in with my Oma Beauty in the shade Simone. Again, from Oma Beauty, I'm going with the shade Tracy. This is such a beautiful brown shade, like caramel. I don't know, I love that shade. It's so gorgeous. So I did set my face again off camera. I forgot to record it, but here is the completed look. That's it for today's video. Thank you so much for watching. Bless up, and until next time, sending out much peace, love, and enlightenment. Bye, guys.